What is up, y'all? What is up? How are you guys? There's a couple things I gotta change on the screen. We hit a substantial amount of subscribers the other day. It was crazy. We had about like 7 subs in just one stream, which I thought was pretty dope. So I believe now we have passed our sub goal. Damn, there's something in my eye. We have passed our sub goal. We had a goal of 1,810. Now we're at 1,820. So let's go 1,850. I wonder if we're really going to end up hitting 2,000 subs by the end of this year. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think we don't got it like that. It might take a while to be able to hit that 2,000 subs count, but that's gonna be pretty damn dope when we get there. Now we got a couple of things that we do have to end up studying. It's kind of hot in my room. I'm gonna take this damn jacket off because I'm steaming. I gotta go open this app that could show me, taking some notes. But today we do gotta get into the software side of things. So I'm going to go and see. I'm probably gonna have to ask ChatGPT because I don't really know exactly what to do. I gotta open up this OBS app though, but it's taking its sweet time. I should open it up before stream. But I don't know exactly what I need to be getting into. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Remember when we spoke about learning IT support? Now we're getting into the software side of things. Now we're getting into the software side of things. Give me 5 modules to learn software, I guess, is the best way to go. Have I heard of Professor Messer? Yes, I have, but I believe he just does YouTube videos, and that's like, it literally feels impossible for me to learn anything that he teaches because I'm more of a reader. So it's kind of hard. Support IT support. I probably should have looked up beginners section, but hey, we're gonna get there. And yeah, I believe for Professor Messer, does he also do IT or does he only do coding? Because if it's just coding, then Professor Messer is not the one that I need to be looking for. But if it's IT work, then I think that's probably better. Damn, my camera's all types of messed up. It's all good. We gotta wait until we get to the live screen for that one. But the only problem is, oh wait, hold on, this is a lot of bit messed up. The only problem is I gotta wait on ChatGPT to give me what I'm supposed to do, or so we can come up with a learning plan. For specifically software, I probably could look at some jobs as of right now until ChatGPT gets it together because we need to see. So let me go look up some IT support. Oh, damn, my whole thing messed up. Some IT support offers that are remote. We're probably gonna go look at LinkedIn just because it's about 8,000 plus. I don't know how they do it, but man, do they do it. They really do. They just have it all kinds of set up. Said, someone speaks on ways to get security plus. Oh, okay. So then that's not bad. That's not bad. I don't know, for some reason, like, I'm just more of a, because I know there's a lot of videos too out there that teach IT support, but I've just learned myself, and I'm really a big not visual, I guess a big reader to learn. Like, you know how they have it in school where you either read or let me turn off this video real quick. It's where it's like you either read or you're good at looking at like diagrams and learning, or you're good at listening to learn. I've always been one of the readers and somewhat of the diagram person. So this one was about a week ago from Rula. I don't believe we read this application. About 78 to 88,000. I'm surprised this is entry level, so it makes me feel like this might be false. I know you might hear some roaring right now. Give it a second. I don't really have my chat open, by the way, because this phone is always dead. I don't know what it is, but it just dies. The other phone be fine, but for this pay range to be about 78 to 88,000 for an entry level position makes me believe it might be fake. Especially because unless it's just a really good company, and it might just be very hard to even get in at that point. Maybe because they want you to have a degree, but it's like, it's just preferred. You know what I mean? It does have a 401k, generous time off. Like, it sounds a little bit too good to be true, one of those positions. But definitely hitting that, like, trying to apply for it ain't bad. How much is this one? This is Monday through Friday, 40 hours. It should be remote if it's popping up. So that's pretty cool. Be early applicant, 12 plus months, 8 to 5. I'm not, oh, and there's only 25 people that applied for it. Doesn't really say whether it's remote, but you could probably try to see if you can mingle your way in there. And then it's also nice that they tell you what to get used to. This is exactly what they basically use. So I like that. Eventually, when we get into this device management, device imaging, device troubleshooting, I might want to do this part, write down that. This is the first time I've ever seen them kind of act in particular for device management and device imaging. So this might be the wave. This might be the wave. All right, so let's go here. And then, oh my goodness, it's like legitimately something in my eye. Let's see if ChatGPT got my modules ready. Okay, seems like they do. So that's pretty good. Let's go jump back. So I don't want to leave like nothing on the screen at first because ChatGPT was taking dumb long. My laptop ChatGPT moves slow. My phone ChatGPT, they get it together. So they're saying the first thing that they believe I should end up learning when it comes to the software side of things is operating systems. You know, so funny, someone actually commented that down below for me because I have no idea about any operating systems. I only strictly know about in particular, I've only known about, what is it called? Hardware. Yes, I've only learned about hardware. So now we're going to be getting into the operating system side of thing. So let's go and see if we could find a good little website here. I should have bookmarked this book. We're going to see if they do have some good explanations in here for operating systems. This book is one of the best books if you're going to be using this to learn anything about IT support. So I'm hoping we could find maybe like a beginner. Operating systems is said over 100 times in this book. That's crazy. So maybe not the first time. Maybe not. Oh, that's it. Okay. The second time. I need to go, says the forward. No. Okay, installing and upgrading hardware. Could this be the first thing I need to learn? This gets into troubleshooting. I'm just not too sure because I feel like first I should get into the basics first. Just talking about where to start. I was gonna say I feel like I should get into this is for system administrators. Includes a nice discussion about account provision, adding and removing hardware. See, I like that. Installing and upgrading software. It says go see chapter 12 for more information about software management. So I kind of like that. I just don't know exactly where to go unless maybe I should just go to chapter 12 for operating system. This is 6. Yeah, we might just leave it here for a second because I know they want me to specifically look for, I think, operating system. Let me just look up operating systems basics for IT support. Maybe someone has a legit website for this. Maybe someone has a legit website. For IT support, operating system basics involve understanding the OS is the software that manages the computer's hard drive because like I literally know nothing about operating systems or anything about like this is gonna be perfect. I wonder if I looked up introduction. Like, I feel like that's the one thing about this book that is like, if you don't really know exactly what you're looking for, it doesn't really pop up. Yeah, see, it doesn't really pop up there. So yeah, it's probably best to go for Geeks for Geeks. But I do like that book. It's just, when it does come down to certain things, it's a little bit more difficult to find. Let me go turn on my camera so that y'all can see me taking some notes right now. And I would love to be able to use my other phone so I can see, you know, what is going on up here. But we should be on for about until like 12:50-ish, 12:50. So we got a long time today. I know we came on hella early as well. Normally don't come on at this time. I normally try to do 12:30 to 1:30. But today I had something going on where I do gotta pick somebody up at like 12:50. So gotta make sure I'm out the house a little bit sooner than that. So we got introduction here. So you were doing the Google cert, right? I was for a second, but then they really ended up like, when I seen how much you had to pay, because first of all, ChatGPT be pissing me off because I said a free website, right? And then they sent me there acting like it was a free website. Turned out the whole time, obviously, it was never free. And so by the time I finished module 1, they legitimately sat there and tried to charge me $50 per month. Now I'm like, it's probably going to take me 3 months to even finish that course. So I was like, there's no real purpose for me, at least, to go and get it, because I'm going to be spending $150 probably for the course to then sit there, and I guess they give you a discount on the CompTIA A+. But the reason why I do this is because the discount is probably going to make it from $500 to $300. But if I'm spending $150 on the CompTIA IT support, then, I mean, not the CompTIA, sorry. If I'm spending $350 on the Google, certification, or $150, at that point, I'm basically almost paying full price. Like, I'm only coming off about $100 if I end up passing, because what if I failed? Now I'm sitting there, I did all that for nothing. So that'll be crazy, because even if you fail the CompTIA A+, you might be able to do a retake for a discount, but most of the time they make you just rebuy it. So I'm like, hey, make sure, like, when you're going for the CompTIA, or when you're going for any of those certifications, I think even for like the Linux one, the cloud one, the CCNA, CCSP, or something like that, all of those, if you end up failing, you have to retake it at that exact price. Though the CompTIA cost a lot more, CompTIA A+, because it is like 2 tests in one. So it's like $250 for each, but the other ones, I think there's another one that's like $300 by itself, but I think the rest are kind of from the $100 to $200 range. But doing the math of all the certifications that I wanted to get, y'all, that comes out to about $3,300. So I'm like, that's not bad. I'm thinking, maybe they give you at least 3 retakes or something. Nope. If you end up failing, you gotta come out of pocket again. So I'm like, I'm just going to allow myself to possibly fail once. So the math would really be $6,000 if I failed at least once each test. So I'm like, let me just make sure I pass them all. I'm not even going to take it unless I'm confident, because ain't no way you're going to see me coming out of pocket. That's going to be crazy. 6,000. Like, So as an operating system acts as an intermediate... Wait, whoa. I know it means like intermediate, but why intermediary? Something like that. Between the computer hardware and the user. In short, it is an interface between computer hardware and the user. It practically just said the same thing again, but okay. It didn't feel short. It actually felt longer if they just said it. I don't know. So we got to go into here. So we got the purpose of an operating system is to provide an environment in which a user can execute programs conveniently. So I do like that. I always wondered, how did web pages end up getting paid? And just seeing all the ads on this website, I'm like, I see. I wonder how easy is it to is it difficult if I were to make a website like this? Because I think I could legitimately make this exact website with my web dev skills and kind of just publish it like one of these and see if people would like run ads on it. I wonder how much money you can get for it. If it was like about $100 a month just for having like 10 websites on, that ain't too bad. That would not be too bad, because then you do have to pay for like hosting. But either way, hosting should be way less than that. Probably coming out maybe $6 for a couple months or something like that, or maybe like $20 for a couple months. I would have to look into that, because I know I could definitely make websites like this. It would obviously take time, because I would want it to actually have value, not for the income, but I think it would be pretty lit. I wasn't even thinking about that. So this OS is more important. Like, if you learn this, then other things will be easier. No, yes. This was already on like my game plan of learning, because I've already learned everything about hardware. So simply the next 2 things I needed to get into was the software side of things, which ends up becoming, obviously the operating system. And then I need to get into the basics of networking. And then from there, I want to focus a little bit more harder on the specific things that are going to be on the CompTIA A+. Not that anything that I'm learning right now isn't going to be on the CompTIA A+, but right now, I'm literally learning like the basics, like legitimately the fundamentals when it comes to at least software. I feel like I've learned kind of deep stuff when it comes to the hardware that, in particular, I believe like IT support tier 2 normally deals with like the hands-on hardware type of things. And I know all of that to an extent. Like, I'm at the point where I need to get hands-on before I could really claim that. But I think, when I do start to get hands-on, things will start to be more better, that I could see myself possibly being able to skip help desk. But it really depends on how I show my skills, what type of freelance work I've done, and if, they want me to just kind of, for the company, if they want me to just kind of start there to pretty much, just keep pushing. But I'm just so happy that I finally finished module 4 yesterday. Because yesterday I already knew that by today I was going to have to get into software. I just didn't have anything set up until now though, but I knew I was going to have to get into software at some point, and this was the day. I was so happy. Yesterday I was like on the moon, because now we're getting into more of the nitty gritty. We've already learned the first half, and I see why, I think it was the IT Google support, whatever it was called, certification. They kind of started you off with learning the hardware side of things. And at first I was like, why would they do that? But I believe the core 1 test for the CompTIA A plus, and this is like that particular certification, the IT Google support, is supposed to be preparing you for the CompTIA A plus. So I feel like they did it that way because the first test in the CompTIA A plus is hardware, so they probably want you to be like freshened up. I wonder, am I able to take them separately, or do I have to take it at the same time? Because if I'm able to take it separately, I feel like I feel a lot really confident for the hardware section. I just don't want to take it and then they probably throw in some things I probably would have learned for software, and then I screwed myself because I took it a little bit too early just in case. But I just don't want to sit there and have to re-spend hella money because I failed the test. Like, I would need to take a lot of practice tests. The only good thing is that I think I'm like a pretty decent test taker. I think I could definitely land a passing grade. I've never in my life, like maybe math when I was in like middle school. I think the lowest grade I've ever got on like a math test that I was actually trying on, that I thought I was going to do well, was probably like a D. Still passing, but I was like, damn. I was like, I guess I don't understand none of this. But other than that, it used to always be like a C and up. And then when I got a little bit older, it used to always be a B and up. So I got more better. And it wasn't that I was like dumb at the time. I wasn't focused on the right things. I wanted to have fun. So I decided to not focus in school. And then I think I noticed that there was some people who knew how to focus. So here's the control flow. We're probably going to write down exactly what this diagram looks like. I don't think. Oh, you can save the image. Actually, no, I think I'll save the image later. So what I'm probably going to do is kind of draw this out, because I think this is probably one of the best ways to learn sometimes, and when you draw your own diagram, and when you also just have this picture as well. But I think this is going to be pretty lit here. So it starts user. Let me draw a line here. So it's control flow. So it goes to user, application, operating system, hardware, and then I guess it comes back up. So like the user down and then hardware back up is kind of what's going on there. Not even kind of, I think that's legitimately. But I think it's trying to show how things move, how things run. I can't believe I'm like really in the basics of things. But hey, listen, before I had no idea about what hardware was, and then 36 days went by and now it just clicks. Now it straight up just clicks. So it's like, it's a little bit intimidating, but there's nothing to be afraid of. Because at the end of the day, hardware was difficult at one point. And then, yeah, that's ultimately how it goes. So let me do this here. Get a little bit of this diagram down pat. Well, what's up, Snake? It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. It says functions of the operating system. We don't need to draw that out, but we could probably write this out and just put it as like a bullet point or something. Got to get into this. We got functions of the operating system. Has your name always been Snake Codes? I feel like your name used to be like Snake. I feel like I mentioned that before too. But I swear your name was like Snake or something. Or it's like Snake, or just Snake by itself. Now it says Snake Codes. I think it said that before though. Maybe I'm tripping. So you gotta do process management. But yeah, man, this is just something that I've really just been super like focused on. And I know I just posted a video recently talking about how I almost like came to the point of quitting, because I remember like the first time that I had came on stream, that was when somebody had hopped in, and that's when they said that. It was literally the first day that I started studying my IT support, or the second day. I know it was like pretty soon, in the journey of like studying online. And that person immediately, he was just like, oh, I'm surprised you're still learning tech with all these layoffs or whatever. So that really was like the first time that I was like, damn, what the hell is going on? But in particular, too, I just felt like my whole life people would always kind of crap on IT. They would just kind of make it seem like you can't have a career here, and or if you did have a career here, like it doesn't pay that well. You know what I mean? And like, which is insane, because I've seen other jobs that pay or they cap way less than even like an IT help desk position, or not help desk, I'll say like tier 3 position. So I'm like, who are they? Like, you know how many jobs are in this world that kind of cap at like $30 to $36 an hour? And I'm not saying that that's bad, but if you get into like a tier 3 help desk position, you're probably hitting that. And then there's even more past that, where obviously you're going to get paid more. So I'm like, who came up with like this whole thing that IT is trash? Like, I don't know who did that, or like IT's for the weirdos or something like that. I'm like, what the hell? It almost got me for a second. I was like, hey, what is up, Helix? Says, yes, you did mention I did say that for some reason YouTube shows using it. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I did mention it. I was like, what? But now we just created a past sense. No, fact. I'm probably gonna do it again. If you show up later, I have bad memory. There was literally this point where I remember I had this friend in high school, and I kept forgetting that she was like way older than me. She was like about, I want to say, I think she was like, well, not way older than me, but she was a year older. And I would always forget. So every time her birthday came around, and it would be like, I'm 19, right? And I'm 17, about to turn 18. So I'm like, damn girl, you're 19. And then it was like, damn girl, you're 21. Like, so it just kept going. And then one day she was like, you tell me this every year. And I was like, oh shoot. I was like, I do? So I was like, damn, I gotta stop. Like, I have such bad memory that it's crazy. Or like, I remember there was this one time where I was like asking for help on my homework, and I kept forgetting that this person kept telling me that the homework wasn't due and that they didn't do it, but they were going to do it next week or something. And so literally in the same breath, every 10 minutes, I kept saying, oh my gosh, give me the homework so I could copy it. Or like, give me the homework so I blah, blah, blah. It was just crazy. I was like, bro, what is going on with me? She had to like snap at me. I was like, damn, I'm sorry. Like, my memory really be bad. It says, what site is that? Geeks for Geeks? Yes, I believe so. I want to start using this like notebook over here, but I feel like it's hard for me to kind of figure out where I'm supposed to be, because I want to find the introduction to like the operating systems. I don't want to get into the deepness of the operating system yet. But this book is good. It's just, I feel like I just don't know where to go sometimes. Because this is immediately talking about bash scripting, Python scripting, then booting and shutdown. Like, I feel like this comes down to actual things that you're probably going to be doing, rather than giving like a brief introduction. Like creating permissions, setting a password and stuff. Like, that's going to be all nice, but just as of right now, it just doesn't make sense. Raid was pretty good when we got into the deepness of Raid, but I don't think it has any of the... Oh, it has backups on here too. That's crazy. I could have been looking at this. I didn't even notice. Was setting up the backup, but I kind of went briefly on that as well, because I don't think you need to know. Oh, software installation and management. It might be the wave. That might be the wave, actually. Let me go and click that and see what does it give like a... It's because it's really just getting into the installation rather than the actual like thing. But Geeks for Geeks is still pretty good. And so is that book. It's just kind of difficult to see where to go. So when did the stream start? I gotta appreciate your work consistency. I'm also thinking of starting the work stream and content thing. Hey, that's what's up, bro. I would literally watch. I would go to work and watch you while I'm at work. That would be super dope if you ended up doing that. But I think I started stream at 11:20. I had to start a little bit earlier today, but I'm kind of planning on trying to start this early again, because I want to see, like, I kind of want to see if I could do 2-hour streams. But 2-hour streams right before work is crazy, especially when I pull a 10-hour, because it's not like I sleep immediately. So it's kind of difficult to be like, let me pull a 2-hour stream off of 6 hours of sleep. Like right now, I'm doing it off of 6 hours of sleep, but I had requested yesterday off, so I feel like, at least it wasn't like I worked, but I did sleep late still. And then I had to wake up really early to go and, drop someone off somewhere. And I got to go pick them up and stuff. So I'm like, might as well just stream from now until they're out, because I'm not going to have any other time to do it. But no, yeah, this journey is going to be pretty lit. And then there's even other things too that, like, right now I've been really trying to learn, like, really gain weight. The only reason that I don't document that, though, because I think that would be a crazy journey to document. Everybody loves a weight gain or weight loss journey. But the problem is that I'm, like, so inconsistent. But this has probably been the most consistent I've been. So part of me is thinking, like, should I pick up the camera now? Or should I, like, wait? Because I wouldn't upload it now. Because there's, like, plenty of journeys that I'm low-key documenting, but they're going to come out way after the IT support journey. So it's going to be creepy because I'm probably going to be in, like, a new apartment one day after, like, all this IT support stuff. And then literally the next series is going to be me back here because I documented a whole nother journey. But it's so funny. It's going to be so funny. But I feel like once all of, the channel starts to, like, unload and y'all kind of see what this channel is supposed to be, I think it's going to continue doing well, man. Truly. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. You said, I will have to ask my friend. He knows how to set up the whole streaming thing. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty dope. That is pretty dope. I wish I knew someone who knew how to set it up, because if y'all seen my first streams, they weren't that bad because, I was figuring stuff out. But I didn't have no, like, type of layout like I do now. And I currently don't even like this layout that much. I feel like it's more of, like, a gamer layout. But I don't remember how I did it, and I don't want to have to go through it again. So I'm like, it's either I do this or I sit there for like about 3 hours trying to figure out how to do another setup. Because I kind of wanted to make everything like yellow, just because I use this same exact setup for my coding. I don't want people to get confused thinking I'm going to come on and code. That's why, like, I've been trying to use yellow a lot for my IT support videos so people know it's different. But it's tough. It is tough. But yeah, I feel like the more topics and the more chapters I get to in my life where I document it all, I feel like the more the channel is just going to continue to grow, because people are just going to see that this channel, it's not just about what I'm exactly doing. It's literally about hopefully trying to get people to see that they could, do whatever they put their mind to. So, like, if you're currently learning coding and then I'm in a chapter where I'm learning boxing, obviously a lot of people in that chapter are going to be people who are more interested in the boxing aspect. But the real people that I would want are the people that are going to watch kind of for anything, because I want this channel to be a journey. It's not meant to be a web dev channel. And I was so close to kind of switching the channel, like, to web dev or to IT or, like, tech. But the point isn't to make, like, a full tech channel. It's just to document for probably about a year or two, or like a year and whatever, like, until I land a networking role, and then switch to the next topic and just continue to go from there. And just kind of document myself learning a bunch of different stuff. Because, I think that's where a lot of people need to see, especially for me when I was younger. If I seen someone who constantly showed their entire journey for, like, ages, I think I would have had a lot more consistency. Because, like, the people who kind of, you said AI will take your job, Lo, I'd find something else. I don't think so. It depends on exactly what job you think I'm shooting for. I think there's certain positions where AI could possibly take, like, maybe a help desk position. But AI definitely isn't going to be touching networks or cyber. That I don't think anyone would trust AI to even do all that. But either way, I want to say when it does come with AI, in my opinion on AI, is that in the end, there's going to have to be humans there regardless. And a lot of those machineries are going to be technology. So exactly who are those people that are going to deal with it? It's going to be IT and maintenance. So part of me thinks, like, I think IT and maintenance jobs are going to, like, skyrocket through the roof, because there's no way that you're going to tell me that these machines are about to start fixing themselves. These machines are going to start fixing themselves. These machines are going to start doing this. Like, I don't know. I think people have put a little bit too much hype into AI. It's not there's going to need to be humans there. The people who ultimately don't care to learn or don't see their place when AI comes in. I think that's those are going to be the people that get kind of, overtaken because they're not prepared for it. They don't want to use it, or they don't want to see how they themselves can benefit from it. So I don't know. I don't know where people really come up with that. I feel like it literally doesn't make sense, because who's gonna fix all that, especially if it's going to be technical. It has to be an IT person. Like, I don't know. I understand that maybe some people might think coding is going to be replaced, but I even think with coding, it's not even going to be replaced. I think humans are going to have a different role. I think AI is going to do the actual coding, but humans are going to do the debugging. So it's kind of like, to say that it's completely not going to be no humans involved, I think that's just a propaganda to scare people to stop doing stuff or to stop learning. And that's what's going to happen. And all the people that continued learning are going to get their positions. And I think that's truly a setup. It's a setup. He said it's been 5 years and I'm listening to shit AI take job BS. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not, I think people just have it wrong. It's false information. And then the same people are getting scared themselves to go and pursue stuff. So it's like, it's just false information. That's all it is. It says, a person who has more than half a decade of experience, I'm telling you this, in future, there will be more technical jobs. Coding is not going to be replaced. It's going to be more difficult. Exactly. That's literally how I feel. What is up, Shashi? How are you? Damn, I love the AI talk, though. It says, you said, how are you? Did you know I was going to say that or something? Do I say that all the time? No, I'm great. I am great. It says, and you will have to be more senior because you'll be correcting the wrong AI code. No, exactly. Exactly. So it's like, but that's why I keep saying the people that are going to get left behind are going to be the people who don't think they need to like learn debugging, or who don't think they're good. Because once that debugging stage comes, and if they sit there and they didn't learn anything in that aspect, yeah, they're going to get let go. Because at that point, they're not even going to be able to sit there and fix what AI is doing, because they didn't even like practice for that. That's always my big thing, is just make sure you're ready for when AI enters that field and see where you could fit in. Because there's always going to be a place for a human, because it just doesn't make sense. How else are these things going to be ran? People are going to have to be, watching it or debugging it or fixing it. And especially once they start using robots, maintenance and /IT work, because it's still technical. So it's like, I think, like you said, there's just going to be a skyrocket in jobs. I don't think it's going to be a minus. It's just going to be different types of jobs. A little bit different. That's all. But, because imagine they have like an AI bot. I mean, I was going to say an AI IT bot. I'm like, yo, come on. These bots are just replacing hardware, building PCs. I'm like, bruh. Because then who's going to do all that? Like, you can't say there's not a spot for humans. That just doesn't make sense. But, then I was talking about something. I forgot what I was saying. I think I was talking about like my streaming thing. I don't remember, but no, yeah. So I wish to one day switch my setup, but I don't know if it's ever going to end up happening. That's the only thing. So we got a little bit into some more stuff here. We got user 1 text editor, user 2 compiler. I don't know if this was supposed to be user 2 or 3. Oh, it was supposed to be user 3. I don't know how I did that. So these are some application programs, database system, operating system to hardware. So I guess this is what they're telling us the application part of things are. And now we're going to get a little bit into some more notes about that. I think currently I'm right here where it says the OS itself is not only a user interface, instead it provides an interface for user interactions. It's always running in a background to manage and coordinate the use of hardware amongst some things. So this is some really stuff, like a good amount of stuff that I'm going to have to remember and possibly even quiz myself on a little bit later today, because we wrote a lot and I got to make sure I reread a lot of this too, just in case, because I don't want to be confused. It says instead it provides an interface. So let me write that down. So tomorrow's your exam. Hey bro, I'm praying for you. Hope that you could definitely end up passing that. I know you got it in you. I'm gonna go read real quick. It says, and it says now copy paste is not bad, but it is not letting you grow. If you want to grow, you need to understand how to program and not code. No, facts. Facts, bro. That's exactly it. Cause some people, man, some people are doing that and they're gonna be shocked when they realize there isn't no types of position because they're not really learning. They're just legitimately taking people's stuff or taking AI stuff and then that's it. They're not even understanding because if you don't learn how to like code it, it's going to be hard for you to learn how to debug what AI is possibly doing. So it's like, and that's why I try to tell people like I think frameworks are nice and vanilla or whatever, I mean, frameworks are nice like React or using Tailwind. But the thing is like if you don't understand what each thing is doing vanilla wise, then how could you possibly sit there and possibly debug like a line of code? Because sometimes I feel like when you use frameworks, you're kind of looking for exactly what you're looking for and they kind of build the rest of that structure themselves. So you don't really have to know exactly what each thing is doing. And I think some people get stuck on that because then if you don't know exactly what each thing is doing by itself, when you need to go and debug something, like I think I've literally heard someone who works in that field, they said that the people who use Tailwind and the people who used React or used frameworks, it was so much more harder to train them because when it came to debugging, they didn't know what to do. They were so used to it just kind of being given to them. So it's like, that's another thing too. A lot of people used to come at me for not using frameworks or using anything like that. I'm like, I'm trying to learn exactly what everything is doing before I sit there and I start trying to use something that's going to kind of give me like a I don't know how to explain it, like a pre-built thing in a way, even though you're still coding, but it's a little bit like set up. I remember some people, they'll be like, oh, you can just do the border in one click if you had this framework. I'm like, I don't think I want to do it like that. Like, I don't know. So we're going to get into the goals of the operating systems. Oh, damn. I was just realizing something. It says, I had a OOPS exam and I need time. Damn. Well, you got this, man. I don't know. Just keep pushing. Keep going. You got it. It says humans can do a lot of things, but not everything. You can never give an AI a natural thinking power to grow. Human can't do it. No, facts. Facts. It's just, or humans can do it, I think is what you mean. It says a natural thinking power to grow. But yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't understand where people can get that talk from. But sometimes I feel like people do it on purpose to kind of discourage people. You know what I mean? But there's nothing to be discouraged about, guys. It's not the way people are thinking. I think it's really just something to kind of keep people from learning stuff. And then guess what? The people who actually kind of looked through it and they kept learning and they kept growing are going to, and the people who didn't, they're going to be shocked. And they're going to be so far behind compared to everybody else. Like, I feel like the best way I like to explain it is like with AI kind of coming in, and if you don't figure out your place, for one, I don't even think AI is as close as people think to where it really is going to really take people's jobs. But let's like be hypothetical. If you don't learn how to work with it in whatever way that you can, it's going to start feeling like a Fortnite lobby. Because you're not about to sit there and hop into Fortnite and kind of like, the reason why I personally don't even play Fortnite is because a lot of people on there are like, they sit there all fucking day and they've learned everything that they could do. If I sat there and played Fortnite, I barely even know how to like build. I'm gonna sit there and get killed. Like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna lose the whole entire thing. So it's like in my head, I'm like, whatever, I'm not even gonna go and play. But that's, I feel like, what they're trying to do with life right now, especially when AI does end up coming in. And let's say it does be as powerful as people say. I don't think it's gonna be like that yet, but when it does, I think that's what it's literally gonna feel like. It's like if you didn't start working on it now, it's going to feel almost impossible for you to even get somewhere. Because then it's always going to be expanded. It's always going to be something new that's learned or something new you need to get into. And it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. But at least, that's why I'm trying to build this channel here to hopefully try to influence people to just learn something. You know what I mean? Like get into somewhere. And don't be afraid of what people say. Learn where you could fit in. Especially because for networking and cybersecurity, it just doesn't make sense. Or especially hands-on tech, it doesn't make sense how AI is going to replace that. I don't know. Unless, like I said, we got robots that are building shit at that point. So literally, I laugh on this. Non-technical people that have no connection to IT, coding, and anything technical tell us that AI will take our job. Like, buddy, focus on yourself. No, big facts. He said, do I have a Discord? Yes, I do. I always forget to put it in the description. Let me see if I could. No, yeah, I would have to do it. I have to do it a little bit later. I always forget. I don't know why I do that. I have no idea why I do that. I do a lot of my, but it's probably because, like, I don't really use my Discord. The only thing I really do on there is kind of show that I'm live or something. And my Discord used to be popping, but then, I don't know, eventually just ended up, like, kind of dying out, and I'm not really a big Discord user anyway. I've only made it because everybody was kind of telling me to make one. So when everyone kind of stopped, like, messaging in there, I was like, okay, yeah, I already know this is gonna be a dead Discord. I was like, I already know. There's some people who message, but then there's people, like, there used to be people who would respond back, and then now they don't, so it's like, and I hate Discord. I hate that concept. I don't like when there's so many text messages on my phone, and then I need to respond to it. I do like individual texting, though. Like, if you texted me by yourself, like, on Discord or on my Instagram or something, I will respond. Just let me know that if you followed me on Instagram, because that's a little bit different. But I do respond. I might be a couple days late, but it's just because I don't use social media. The only social media I really, I guess, use would be YouTube. But I took social media out of my life because I've noticed that I used to have, like, bad anxiety. And it's because once you're on social media, there's always something bad going on. Always. And it used to give me, like, super bad anxiety. So I had to work on that, and I cut off social media entirely. Says, are you planning to build a big project based on everything you've learned so far? Yes, I do. I really want to. So far, I'm doing, like, mini projects because I do want to keep, like, my coding and my web dev kind of, like, steady and, like, clean. But I do plan on one of these days to literally do, like, either one big website that has different links to the different stuff that you need to learn. But the goal is to ultimately try and be able to teach people IT support, because I don't feel like there's any websites without having to pay, like, stacks where you can kind of learn IT support and then or even learn for the CompTIA A plus and stuff. Like, a lot of it you have to really be self-taught. So it's not like I want to make mines free, but I feel like with Google IT support, it being $50 a month is crazy. I would want mines to be like $20 just to have all access. Or depending on how much stuff I put in there. If it's like everything is in there, which I don't think would make sense, I feel like I could keep it separate. But if I put everything in there, then maybe it could be like $50, but for one payment, you get it all. Something like that. Because I think they go too crazy. And if I seen something like that, like someone else were to do it, I would pay it. I just feel like with the Google IT support, that should be once every month. And then everything else is kind of like that too. It's like, I think that's like a money grab. It's like you're not even caring about the value that you're giving to your people, you know? Like, I currently like the IT support stuff. It's just, or the Google IT support, but it's like, to me, it just doesn't make sense. It's like you're just gonna charge me monthly. What if it takes me 3 months? And the whole goal is to try and give you a discount on the CompTIA. But if it takes me 3 to 4 months, I spent $200. Now I actually paid more than if I just bought the CompTIA. So I'm like, I don't know. It's strange. Says, now you should focus on Discord, not on your server, but join the other big tech related servers. You will find a lot of senior people. That's true. Actually, I could join other people's servers. That is 100% facts. Completely forgot about that. So you know what? Message me on Discord. I'll share you some server name where you can join it. Okay. All right. So my user is DeadKing18. So let me screenshot that. I don't know if I'll be able to do it today, because I do have to go pick someone up right after this, get ready for work, get food, yada yada, the whole shebang. So I might have to do it tomorrow, but I did screenshot it. So if I'm in tomorrow's stream, I'm the phone that has Discord is the phone that's filming this right here, filming myself like writing, so I can't really just pick it up yet. But definitely let me know in tomorrow's stream if you can make it, because my memory is just so bad. Like, I don't know if I'll remember. But it's because I realize my memory isn't bad in the sense of like I have short-term memory. I think it's because I'm a big overthinker. So I think about everything. Everything. Like, I could be at work and I'll be thinking about doing this. I'll be thinking about the Bible. I'll be thinking about like I don't know, my outfit or something. Like, that was just random. I probably wouldn't think about that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, it's always something for me to think about. And I forget stuff. I don't know what the hell that is. I gotta just ease my mind. But the thinking doesn't stress me, though. I feel like it brings me comfort in a way. Before, it used to stress me. But I think I've now learned how to use it in a comforting way. 100%, which is great. So right now we're getting into the access or the security side of things here. How long have we been on stream? Because I do want to be able to do the job search, because I know some people probably clicked on this to see a job search. So I got to make sure that I end up getting into that. I did a little bit when we first hopped in, but I just want to make sure here, because I want to read all of this to make sure that I'm understanding what this all is about. This is kind of like an important section. This is finally telling me about operating systems. Damn it. Gotta make sure I'm seeing. I was just playing Detroit Become Human. Oh my goodness. Like yesterday. And I just finished the game again for like the 30th time. It's just so good and it gets me every time. So it says the primary goals of the operating system is to provide an easy to use and convenient environment for executing programs. It should be easy to use. It's a user-friendly interface, simple to interact with. Program execution, it facilitates the execution of user programs, providing the necessary environment and services for them to run. Resource management, the OS manages and allocates the computer's resources, including the CPU, memory, disk, storage, input device, to ensure fair utilization. Security, the OS protects the system and user data from unauthorized access, ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the information. So this is a lot of information that they're throwing at me. I'm sure each one of these might pop up on a test. So I'm not going to lie, I'm going to have to quiz myself a couple of times. Not today, but definitely something I'm going to have to get into. So because we're coming closer to the end of everything, let's hop back into this little bit of a job search. Oh, wrong one. I gotta charge my laptop. I wish I could have stayed on a lot more longer today, but I guess I would have to do it tomorrow. I don't have anything going on tomorrow, so I plan on probably staying on from like 11 to 1:30 or something, like just to give you all a bit more of a longer stream. But today's been pretty long. I think we've been on for about like an hour and 20. Oh, it hasn't even been an hour, y'all. I capped. Wait, has it been an hour? I can't see. I guess not. Oops, I opened something up. Let me see real quick. This has been going... Bro, I can't figure out how long I've been on. Let me see. Yeah, nope, I can't figure out how long I've been on. I thought it's been an hour, but maybe not. Maybe it's only been like 50 minutes. Who knows? So we are going to look at a couple more of these positions. I do want to see... I want to see a lot more. A lot more. Let's scroll down. First of all, these are like... Some of these are from months ago, which I think is insane. And first of all, why don't all the new ones kind of pop up at the top? I wonder. So this one has 141. We scrolled a little bit more down today. We want to see all this stuff. I gotta turn off this camera. I always forget. So let's come back here. This is in Irving, Texas. About 141 applicants, right? Now, we have to... It says gotta go now. If you do need any help, do let me know. Bye. Alright, see you later, my guy. Definitely let me know if you end up starting a channel, bro, because I'm telling you, I would watch. I would literally be your #1 supporter, bro. Like, I would literally watch all that type of content. I do not care. What account am I even on right now? Alright, so let's keep this pushing. So, we gotta see a couple things. Provide white glove support. Wait, hold on. What job is this? This is desktop support. Is this the same thing? Laptop setup, ability to research and resolve. It seems a little bit different. Would this be considered IT support, y'all? I'm not too positive. Would this be considered IT support? I mean, maybe? Role performs oh yeah, like service, repair, installations. I mean, I would hope they considered this as IT support, but this definitely isn't remote. So I don't know why this popped up in the remote section, and they want a mid-senior level. Because if you're talking about for me to repair a computer, like, I just can't do that from home. You know what I'm saying? You can still definitely try to get hired, though. Or at least get an application and kind of see. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, man, you never know. Especially if they like you. Like, if they don't end up asking you if you could be there in person or whatever, like, in the beginning of that interview, I'm telling y'all, if they like you, and you sit there and you say, like, oh, I can't be out there or whatever the hell... Not saying that they're going to give you a remote position. It's possible. Or, like I said, they just might recommend you to someone else, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling y'all, it goes crazy. So make sure you're applying to positions that you don't even think you're qualified for. I kind of want to look up like web dev positions, because it's kind of the same thing. Like if you look up remote web dev or startup positions, there's so much of them. It's just you really have to sit there and just consistently apply. First of all, why for my technical support specialist, why do I need to know HTML and CSS? I mean, the good news is I do, and I literally have certifications. So, well, they probably won't care, but they won't care. But I actually do know HTML and CSS. That's funny. They don't care about JavaScript though. Wonder why. Oh, wait, it does say here experience with automation and scripting, which I'm not experienced in that. I know JavaScript, but they said it's literally Python, PowerShell, Shell, Power Automate. I'm not too good with that either. Familiarity with cloud platforms such as Azure or AWS, experience with Microsoft reporting services, a passion for solving technical problems. Hey, I'm your gal. I do have a passion for it. I wonder if I'm gonna like this job, like this career path. You know what I mean? Like, what if I'm like so confident in like applying for this stuff and I straight up don't like it? What if that were to be a thing and I'm like, y'all, you know what? We're rerouting, we're becoming electricians. That would be crazy. They're trying to say that all of these are, as an application support representative. Damn, 178 applications immediately. This was posted 5 hours ago. Yo, I wonder how could you stand out of almost 200 applications? How could you stand out? Because I'm sure half these people are probably definitely have this like certifications. They like just definitely. Damn, it's hybrid. So people didn't care. Unless all these people live in New York. This is Hillside, Darwell, Office 365, Microsoft Entra, Microsoft Exchange, network troubleshooting. I cannot wait. Backup and restore best practices. See, oh my goodness. That's the stuff. This is the stuff I gotta like focus on too, because even though I did finish the hardware side of things, I feel like I did kind of rush a little bit of the storage side of things. So I gotta make sure that I do actually understand backup and restore. Like I said, it's more easier when you kind of have the job without the certification, but I think the scary part is the interview and getting the certifications, because that's when you can't have your notes with you. Maybe on an interview, because I would hope they're not like, well, they might say, let me see around the room, because they want to make sure you're not like cheating, but I guess, or trying to like get information from people. So I guess that makes sense for like an interview, but I feel like for interviews and certifications, that's where it's hard. When you get the actual job, let's say if I really don't understand backup and restoring stuff, it could be inside of like the jobs book, whatever it's called, the configuration, or it could be you could just have your own notes on how you would do it or whatever the hell. So like working the actual job, I feel like I'm never going to be in fear, because I would always sit there and have notes. I literally would be taking notes of other people's tickets, especially advanced tickets. If I want to get into tier 3 and tier 2 for my interviews, I want to be able to know what to say, how to say it, what I did, yada yada. So it's like I've been trying to overly prepare myself while still learning a bit of the basics. I just love learning. I think IT is just really the best place for me. So investigate, troubleshoot, resolve all computer software, hardware problems. These include limited MS, or are not limited to MS, Office, Microsoft Outlook, internet access, remote connectivity, printing, audio, visuals, and services. I know there's a lot of issues with not being connected to the printer. I haven't been able to solve those ones, but I think I would know what to do. Provide on-site or remote technical support for all IT-related issues. I can't be on site, but remote. If they allow the possibility of remote, or if it's even hybrid, I feel like they have to allow full-time, like, remote. They have to. They just have to. Or not even full-time, just remote positions. So maintain office, desktop, laptops. And that's another thing too, y'all. We also got to remember that we got to reach out to some of these companies, because sometimes they don't offer jobs on these websites. Also, too, a lot of things are also internal. So a lot of it has to go internally first before it can even hit the outside yet. So, hey, work in a company that try to internally transfer. That's the wave. But then also, too, like I said, make sure as well that, make sure you can do internal, and also just, like I said, reach out to certain companies. I cannot wait to take that CompTIA A Plus and take y'all along. So Windows 7, 10, Microsoft Office 2010, 2016, MS Exchange, Active Directory. They got the desktop support. Oh, there's a Microsoft certified desktop support position. Is this the CD? Oh no, that's not a real thing. I was gonna say the CDST. It's like, no, I think I just made that up. So Microsoft certified desktop support technician. This is the one that I was currently looking for. That I've heard someone got this over the CompTIA A Plus, I believe. Oh no, I didn't. Actually, that's not how they pronounced it. Never mind. It says it was a discontinued certification for IT professionals who support users and troubleshoot, but I guess now it kind of does it. But I guess the modernish one, you can go for the CompTIA A Plus. So I guess you don't really need that one. So why would they mention that? Sometimes that makes me like consider certain things, but it's okay. What is the MCTS? It's probably another old one as well. It's another old one as well. Listing stuff. I won't be doing that. We'll be working from home if they let me. So these are some good little job opportunities. No cap. No cap. Healthcare is probably one of the... Oh, that's just medical insurance. I thought we were getting into healthcare, y'all. I thought we was getting into healthcare. That's crazy. That is crazy. I failed. I failed myself. Okay, so let's go and hop back into a little bit more of learning of this operating system. Want to make sure I'm understanding. So let me go and reread my notes before we sign off. I forgot I turned this damn camera off. So I turn this bad boy right back on. Let me go and take a couple of notes here, or read my notes, because I want to make sure that I'm understanding some stuff. Oh, this is embarrassing. My face is on there. Give me a second. I don't know why my camera's not working. Let me see if this works. Maybe it's because I got this open or something. Let me try again, y'all. Oh, is it working or not? It says my Wi-Fi is off for some reason. I don't know. Try one more time. If that don't work, then I guess we can't show the hand cam, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That sucks. Normally the hand cam be working, so I don't know what is happening, but that's all right. Let's just hop a little bit, because I am just going to be reading a little bit of my notes anyway, so that shouldn't be too bad. Let's see. So I want to make sure I'm like really just understanding this operating system stuff. So we got an operating system acts as an intermediary between the computer hardware and the user. So it's intermediate, it's in between the user and the computer hardware. So I guess the goal is that the user is doing stuff that is ultimately going to make the hardware work. But for that to happen, it has to be, for one, user clicks the application, for instance, I guess just an application in general, which then shoots to the operating system, which then goes to the hardware and then back up to the user, as in what they did worked. So I like that understanding. I like the little diagram that they ended up making me have. I thought that was pretty cool. Then we got the purpose of an operating system is to provide an environment in which a user can execute programs conveniently and efficiently. The operating system OS is a program that runs at all times on a computer. So I'm assuming when the computer is on, right? Or does it still run when it's off? That would be crazy. All other programs, including application programs, run on top of the operating system. So if assigns resources such as memory, processor, and input and output devices to processes that need them, the assignment of the resources has to be fair and secure. So I do like that. I think the only thing that's confusing me is what is the difference? Okay, I was going to say, what is the difference between the operating system and then the application? But now I understand. They gave me a little bit of stuff. So I guess what they're talking about here, which we can kind of get there, is that these are the examples of what an operating system is. So it's Windows. My computer is Windows, so that's what I got. Mac OS, I'm assuming, is the Apple. Linux, I don't know if that's just some type of book. I know Chromebooks, they might use Chrome OS. I think you can just download Chrome as well, but I don't know if that counts as the operating system. I think the operating system is the computer itself. So mine's is Windows. I don't think it's Google, the app, right? I don't think that makes sense. iOS, never mind, I messed that up. Mac OS and iOS, I guess, aren't the same thing. This is the Apple products, and then Mac OS is something else. Maybe similar. Then you got Android. Maybe these two are just talking about phones, and Mac OS is just about the laptop, maybe? I'm not sure. Then they got Unix, and they got BSD. Now, I don't really know too much about all of those operating systems, but I guess that makes sense. So like I said, mine's is a Windows, so I'm assuming that's what that is. Yes, okay. Okay, so I like that. I like that because for some reason I thought like not operating systems. I thought what is it called? That they were like applications. So the fact that it's not, that's a good thing. Now, wait, if I click play, what happens? Oh, they're probably talking. So it's process management, command interpreter, memory management, network management, file management, security management, device management, secondary storage management. So I'm realizing it looks like the software side of things for this computer is going to legitimately be very much informative, and I probably should have started with this one because I'm considering this might take like a whole month or more. I'm hoping it doesn't take that long, y'all. I'm hoping it doesn't take that long, especially because I don't know the basics. That's the one thing that's going to make it take, just a while, is legitimately because of that. But that's okay. Let's go to the next side of things. We also have a little bit of a diagram here as well. Just want to see a little bit more of what's going on. So every general purpose computer consists of hardware and operating system and system programs and application programs. So the hardware includes the CPU, the ALU, memory, I/O, input/output devices, peripheral devices, storage devices. Wait a second. Is hardware like anything though? Like, could it be the GPU? Like, why is it just saying this? Because that's kind of confusing. But the system programs includes compilers, loaders, editors. So this is where I'm also going to get a little bit confused. Hopefully we dive a little bit deeper. And then it says, and the OS itself. So that's understandable. So this is compilers, loaders, editors. I don't know if the database system is meant to be the OS part, but the application programs are, unless it's supposed to be here, are user level software that perform specific tasks. Okay, so I get that then. But they don't get into too much detail about each one. Maybe it gets to that point a bit later. An operating system is always running in the background to manage and coordinate the use of hardware resources among system and application programs for multiple users. The OS itself is not only a user interface, instead it provides an interface for user interaction, typically through command line interface and then graphical user interface with Windows and Windows and Mac OS. Okie doke. So that's kind of how far we got. I think we've written some of this here, but we'll probably reread some of that later. For the primary goal, then there are some secondary goals. I want to see if they do. Okay, so they do get a little bit more into detail about this. So Apple did make Mac OS. I was gonna say, I'm like, am I tripping? I think, what is this? The applications of the operating system. Yeah, so we get a little bit deeper here. I like that. It's not really getting into specifically some of the things I wanted to see, but I guess I can just look some of that up. I think this website is pretty damn reliable if you ask me. This website was pretty damn reliable. But if you guys have any questions, definitely go and ask away if there's anything that you want to know. I want to tell you guys that with this channel, my goal is to ultimately try and inspire people to understanding that no matter how much work, basically that whatever you put your mind to, you can end up completing it. Don't allow someone to tell you you can't, and don't allow your mind to tell you you can't. You know how many times our mind tells us it's too late, that it's going to take too long. 4 years is too long. 3 years is too long. Or, damn, I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm not smart enough for this. Our mind likes to cripple us. And I feel like I used to have that type of crippled mind, even though I'm 22 years old, y'all. I'm super young, so a lot of people look at me, especially like the ones who are older, and they'll be like, damn, I wish I started at that time. And I still get those thoughts where I'm like, damn, I wish I started earlier, which is crazy because I'm so young. I am starting early, you know what I mean? And so for me, I had those thoughts where I'm just like, it's gonna be too long. I don't get it. I'm not smart enough. Whatever, this isn't for me. And I used to brush off and quit a lot of things. And so I started this series. I started it with web dev, and I pursued web dev for about 7 months straight, documented the entire thing on YouTube, and I was able to make web dev a side hustle. I didn't plan on making it an actual career. I just wanted it to be a side hustle where I made a couple $100 because I can't picture myself coding every single damn day. That's just not my dream. But it's definitely a nice little skill I was able to build, and it was like, once I did that and I showed to myself that I can be consistent in something for 7 months straight, learn it and do exactly what I said that I was going to do with it, especially with learning JavaScript, y'all. JavaScript is hell. That immediately taught me that I could do anything. Like, I could literally do anything. Like, JavaScript was so hard, it was so stressful. Learning IT, it doesn't even feel like stress, but it's like, I know I could learn it now because of what I previously was able to do. And I feel like when people break that barrier for themselves and they realize, bro, you could learn it, you could do anything, like whatever you're doing, just push hard, keep going, keep grinding, you're gonna get there. You're gonna eventually just reach that goal. And my biggest thing, and I don't know where I've heard it from, but I know I definitely heard it from somewhere, is that you never could fail, or you can never say that you failed if you never gave up. So part of me is always like, just keep going, keep pushing, you will eventually get there. You know what I mean? And I really hope that I am able to portray that across this camera, because I'm on day 37. I've been streaming daily. Currently, if I miss a day, I'll let y'all know, but so far it's been going 37 days straight. I have a busy life. I work about 10 to 12 hour shifts at a warehouse. I make sure every time I come home, I don't know, actually, what do I do when I come home? I don't stream. I go to sleep, then I wake up, and then I stream right before work. And I make sure that I have at least an hour before work every day to study. So if you're someone who's busy, man, this is definitely the channel for you. To hopefully it can motivate you, it can inspire you, and it can just, just keep you pushing, man, when things get tough. Because things are tough, especially like life is tough. Even if you're younger and you probably don't have those type of responsibilities, or if you're my age and you don't have their type of responsibilities, I do. I personally do have to pay a lot of bills. I have to pay the car, got to pay the apartment, got to do whatever the hell. So it's like, it's not like work is optional for me. I have to sit there, work, and study. So even if you're someone who's younger or my age and you're not really working a full-time job and you have all the time of the day to study, I know you are still probably going through things that makes you feel like you have to prevent yourself from studying. But trust me, like, we can find a way. And at some point, somewhere in our life, even if it's just an hour a day, man, learn something, because learning something and making skills immediately builds opportunities. It doesn't mean you're going to make big income like this. It's just an opportunity to where you might thank your younger self in the next 15 or so years when you learn 5 different skills that now you use at that time as side hustle income or whatever, or as full-blown income, entrepreneurship type income. You know what I mean? So definitely, I hope this can just inspire y'all. So I will be catching you on the next one. What is up, Akshay? I'm sorry, bro. You joined hella late. I don't know if you've been here this whole time, but you joined hella late, my guy. I am gonna be signing off. I gotta go and pick somebody up, and then I got to go and get ready for work, y'all. So thank y'all for tuning in with me. I should be probably coming on around 11 now. Hopefully, I want to come on around 11 a.m. to like 1:30 p.m., but that really depends on what I gotta do. I will be letting y'all know, though. I'm glad that y'all ended up joining, and I really don't want to leave, but I gotta go. Catch y'all on the next one. Deuces.